What we're trying to do is build a park that is feasible, not only to the funds that we're going to have available, but the associations in general. For instance, let me give you an example. The softball field, softball association or baseball association has, say, approximately 400 people. The Wildcats have 200 people. Okay, I talked about these associations giving up at least $3 per member. That's where funds become part of your allocation towards a park. They're doing whatever they need to do to help us in order to bring all this together, including not only that, but your city and your citizens. It's going to affect y'all the way it looks like. It doesn't look like it's going to affect you. And you know, you get the negativity of the, what they call that thing out there, the Civic Center or whatever they call it. They have a name for it, but in all honesty, it's there. It's being paid by, not by you. It's getting paid by sales tax. It really is. So get your information straight before you come, and you know it's not. So, but I'm sorry.
Let me reiterate what Councilman said. Is this event center, again, it's paid strictly through sales tax. Now, we built the building. You heard all these rumors that our property taxes are going up. If you go look at last year's tax bill compared to the year before or this year, it's the same tax rate. We have not increased our taxes to pay for the event center. Luckily, the businesses have done very well in Floresville. And, we're collecting the sales tax, and that keeps on going up. And with the influx of new businesses that are coming in, new stores have just opened up, and others that will be coming will be paying for that event center. Debbie?
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Why we refinance it if it's paid for itself?
Who refinanced it?
We look at the thing.
It's being cost us $1 million to refinance it.
It's
Get
being
your information straight too.
It's being paid by sales
What's
tax.
going on?
Did you vote on that?
That's all I know, refinance it.
Debbie?
Get something done with that event center. I am not in favor of going into debt any further. We are in debt to the tune now of probably close to $6 million because it cost us last year to refinance that debt. And I cannot see us going in another $4 million, $15 million, hiring consultants. And I wish, when y'all are considering hiring a consultant, I wish you'd tell us what you're considering paying him. That would be nice too, to see how much we're obligated for something like that. But we want to know the cost. I feel like we're not getting the whole full picture here. And I'd really like some answers. How much are the consultants going to cost? If you're going to go ahead and go through with this, how are you going to pay for it? I am not against the children. I have a son of my own. He has 2 daughters. My youngest granddaughter plays soccer. She was playing out there on the Masonic field. I mean, I want to see the kids have something too, but I don't want to see my grandchildren, when they graduate from high school here and go to college and come back to Floresville, I don't want to see them pay for this debt. That is not helping our children when we put our children in debt. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing if we take on this project. Thank you.
Okay. I'll say it for 1 million times, Juanita. I'll say it over and over and over. That event center is breaking even, and it is not affecting your property taxes. Okay. You keep on saying the taxpayers, the sales taxpayers are paying for that building.
We're the ones paying the sales tax.
And how do you think that happens, ma'am? How do you think the sales tax affects you?
It affects everything.
Okay. How does that affect it? We need to educate ourselves. How does that affect you?
How does it affect me?
Yes, ma'am.
It's money out of my pocket.
When?
Whenever she purchases
Every
it.
time I buy something.
Okay. Everywhere in the state of Texas, anywhere you shop, there's a sales tax. Anywhere in the state of Texas.
Not an additional 2% in every municipality.
We are at 2%, 4% goes to street maintenance, 1/4% goes to the 4A tax, 0.5% goes to the 4B, 1% goes to the city of Floresville.
But what my point was, you said everybody pays that. I'm saying the state of Texas, the tax is 6%, and you're putting 2.5% on it.
No, sir, 2%.
I'm sorry, 2%. There are other municipalities that do that, but not all of them do.
Okay. The people voted on each one of those taxes. Each one of those.
You made the comparison that everybody does. I'm saying that's not true.
Each one of those is voted by the people of Floresville.
I'm just saying your statement was in
Okay,
it.
our street maintenance tax, somebody mentioned our streets. We have a sales tax that goes straight to our street maintenance. And that was voted on by the people, about 3 years ago. The people of Floresville voted for that tax. Do you live in Floresville, sir?
Yeah. Well, no, actually, no, not the city limits.
Okay.
I work here.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm in phase 4, so y'all aren't ever going to get around my street anyway, so.
But to correct you, we need to educate ourselves. We need to educate ourselves. The event center is paid by your sales tax. And you saw the beautiful Walmart that just opened up the day before yesterday or yesterday. We're anticipating a dramatic increase in sales tax. We know that other business will come along because of Walmart.
What's the problem if you get sales tax money, putting it aside, and then when you have the money there, spending it on...
Okay, we need it. Let me tell you again. Each
Don't
sales
go
tax.
into debt, that's all I'm
Okay,
saying.
let me tell you again. Each tax is voted on by the people of Floresville. The voters voted for a street maintenance tax, a 4B tax, and a 4A tax. The people of Floresville voted for that.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
You're not listening. Okay, you're not listening. That's what the people voted for. There's 3 taxes, a 4A, a 4B, and a street
I'm not disputing
maintenance.
that. What I'm saying is you put the money in a fund until you have enough money to build your sports complex or whatever it is you want to build.
Save the tax money until you can pay for it.
Okay.
This is what we're going to do. You're already over budgeted. You're spending more money than you're drawing in. You tell me sales tax is going up. I heard you say that. You know, you projected...
Not the rate.
No, the amounts that you were receiving. In 2008, or excuse me, 2009, 2010, we received $1.2 million in sales tax. The city of Floresville. For this fiscal year, you projected to receive $977,000 in sales tax revenue. Year to date, or through July 31st, in 11 of those 12 months, you will receive $736,000 in sales tax revenue. But suddenly next year, we're going to receive $1.25 million. I don't understand. When I look at the administration's budget, you know, they said they were going to go on last year's budget. And we're going to stay to that thing. In the 11 months ending so far, they're 29% over budget. When I look at the mayor and city council's
Jim,
budget,
stick to the sports complex, please.
my point is this, is going to reiterate what you need to say. I can't trust you. You said to us that we were going to do last year's budget. You did. Almost every category has been overspent. You talked about the street tax dollars. $196,000 is what was allocated. Don't know how much of that 1/4% is in here. You've only spent $91,000 of it. That sales tax for street improvement.
Have you seen your business grow?
I've seen my business grow because I have been able to budget myself and stay within that budget. And I have set aside funds and made arrangements for improvements. You are talking about obligating the city into a plan when you don't even know what you need. You don't even know how you're going to fund it. It is a pipe dream at this point. Now, if you could come up with a draft plan without spending city money, saying, this is what I think we need in negotiations with these folks. And then ask the question, how are we going to pay for it? And how are we going to maintain it? And put that plan together. And then let's sit down and talk before we start hiring people to design a complex, before we start obligating bonds or talking about bond reimbursement. Let's have a stick drawing of this. Let's get some buy-in from the leagues. Let's show me where HEB is going to donate $1 million or pay for a $100,000 light pole before we start spending money on a sports complex.
Jim, let me reiterate or educate at the same time.
These are your numbers, Danny. I'm not
Mayor,
pulling it out.
let me respond to that, please. I've asked Jim Miller last year, during any of the times that he spoke, to come in and visit with me, or come to our budget workshop. We've had numerous, and he has made, hold on, sir. And, of course, he reads the budget, and I know that he's got a budget background. But the projections are correct on the revenues that we are gonna receive. The sales tax report that he refers to, and the statement that he says that 11 months into it is incorrect, because
This is dated July 31st.
the report is, sir. But we received the sales tax 15 days after the end of that month.
Okay, so
For the
then
prior
we
month.
have 2
Hold on,
weeks.
hold on. For the prior month. So, the actual year-to-date on the sales tax for that category is $845,318.83.
This is
Hold
what was
on,
posted
hold
on
on,
the
sir.
webpage.
Hold on, real quick. I allowed you your time. Last month, collection for the city was $213,466.69. A 30% increase from the same time last year. We still have one more month to collect. Are we going to make our $977,000 projection? Of course we are. And we're going to exceed that. And that goes for our water sales. That goes for any other taxing item that he says. And we're under budget on that. He stated, and I stayed current with Mr. Miller on the blogs, and I read his blogs. And it gives me a time to look at what he's talking about. And you're incorrect, Jim. And I've asked you to come in and visit with me, friendly.
Unfortunately,
And I
these
can
are the
show you
numbers
how
that
the
are right
report-
here.
Just because a report is printed that day doesn't mean that all the revenues are in there. The expenditures are. So we're not over budget, and you nitpick on some items that are over, just a line item. But the entire budget, sir, is still within what was budgeted for that day. And
I would argue with you that this budget is in line, in that there are several points in this budget where...
Jim, we're not talking about the budget, we're talking about the sports complex. It's a public hearing regarding the sports complex.
We have a budget hearing on Tuesday, sir. You're more than welcome to come. Thank you.
I will reiterate to the sports complex, until there is a plan, and you can demonstrate that we have the sponsors,
Jim,
that this is how we're going to pay for it. Obligating a single city dollar at this point, okay, is insane.
okay, Jim, maybe you were asleep when we talked about it, but we have a designer here, we have associations here, we said we're going to pick a menu of what we can afford.
Then explain to me, Mr. Mayor, agenda item number 2.1C, to authorize and direct the city manager to negotiate a consulting contract. Contracts cost money.
To design a plan.
Okay.
In agreement with the
Who is paying for this plan?
to be reimbursed with bond sales if we happen to go through the sale.
So we don't have the money in our budget to pay for this plan right now.
It would be reimbursed through a bond.
And who would pay the bond off?
That's what we're going to negotiate with the different associations and the 4B Corporation.
Okay, so you don't know.
We're still very early talking about this, Jim. I told you that from the very start.
Okay, so we're obligating money that we don't know where we're going to get it from.
We aren't obligating money.
Okay, you said you were going to initiate a contract. Contract
We
costs
have not
money.
approved this complex. We will sit down with the different associations, see what the needs are of the community. We're talking with baseball, we're talking about soccer, we're talking about football.
So why are we hiring a consultant?
How would you design the field, sir?
Okay.
You have so much experience in municipal government, you give me your idea.
Okay.
Tell me.
I'm not telling you how to do that.
Okay. That's why we would hire a professional to help us with the design.
Okay, who is going to pay for it?
Okay. Let me tell you once again, if this complex goes through,
No. Who is going to pay this consultant?
please sit down, Jim.
It's a simple issue of money. If we are going to spend it, where is it going to come from? You say
I've said
a
5
bond.
times already through a reimbursement. If this sale goes through, if this complex is what the people of Floresville want and this council wants, it'll be reimbursed through a bond.
Okay, then the bond has to be paid for by somebody. Who is paying for the
Jim,
bond?
are you not listening? We'll be asking the 4B, the sports associations, the Parks Foundation, corporate sponsorship, community support.
We
Let me
don't
say
know.
that. Do you live here in Floresville, Jim?
I pay taxes here.
Do you live here in Floresville?
No, I
Have you ever visited the park out there?
Yes, I have.
Do you see that there's a need for more parks?
I said at the
Do
very
you see that
beginning,
there's a need for more parks?
Mr. Mayor, you asked me to listen to you, and you repeated
Please sit
several
down.
things to me. My
Please
very
sit
first
down.
words were, I agree that we need these parks and these fields.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go on to the next item.
Hold on. How much is the consulting going to cost the city?
We'll discuss that the next
No,
item.
I want to know now.
Oh, it's not on the item.
I believe I was on the list.
Any other comments before we close the public hearing?
Yes, I believe I